Alrighty guys, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about some of the little things that other videos may not share. There's a couple little tricky parts to the windmill. One that I was thinking about was on the wiring. When you wire this, and of course you want it to go around at 360, but if it does that, then the wires are going to twist, right? So I was trying to figure that out. It made my brain hurt thinking. And I really, other than making like a bearing and having contact points on that connect all the time and spin, would be the only other way. And if that would even work, I don't have the way to do it. So what I came up with, guys, is a pretty easy way. I just made this brake. I just took a couple of these little pieces, I forget what they were. They wasn't L brackets. I forget what these actually were. But anyway, I bent one of them to look kind of like that. And then that way, it'll catch here. So when it comes around, it'll stop. And then it could do its 360. Come on around. And then it'll stop here. And that way your wires, won't keep getting wrapped around. I think there'll be enough play with the wires to do one rotation. I don't know yet. We'll just have to see that when we get to it. Like I said, it's been a few things you wouldn't think would fight you about it, but it has. And other videos just don't explain that. And you always have those problems when you make something. You always find out that it ain't as easy as what the YouTube show that you watched is. So, and we do have our little DC motor up here, so that's all good. I do want to get the the blades a little bit bigger one day, and also I'm going to have to get me a protractor and get the center, because I'm off just a little on the center on it, but not so bad that it won't work right now. And here's another thing we're going to go over, guys, is the controller. The controller that I bought, it's for solar panels. I didn't realize that because I googled for Windmill, and when the controllers came up, I just thought all of them were for windmills. But when it got here, I seen on the box it was for solar. And I was wondering if it could work with either or. Question is yes and no. When I was reading on it, on the instructions from the controller for it, it said do not use DC. Don't try to charge with DC power. Use solar panel only. And I was like, huh? You know what I mean? So I googled it, and the thing is, on the two difference between the solar controller and the windmill controller is the windmill controller has a dump feature. So let's say like you got a real windy day and this thing is putting out lots of volts. When the battery gets full with the solar panel controller, it will not kick off. So it don't have a dump feature, where the windmill controller does. Once the battery is completely charged, it'll kick over to that mode and it'll dump whatever voltage is coming in, which I think is crazy, because you would want to have all that energy. I would have thought, because I'm going to have about 3 or 4 batteries, so I would have thought it would take a long time to charge those. So I don't know. We're just going to have to play it by ear. But that's why I was saying you could use it, but you shouldn't, because it could damage the batteries. But I think in this case, with this just being our practice go around, it's going to work. I'll just monitor the battery as we go and check it with the multimeter. And once it gets up to its 12 volts, I'll just unhook it from the circuit. So that's a little bit what's going on so far, guys. Like I said, only thing left to do is we got to get the wiring done, and I'm not really looking forward to it, because I know it's going to be probably problems because I've got to run the wire. This right here be the easy part, run it from here down to the T. But I want to run it all the way down the bottom and then drill a hole here and bring the wires out and going over to the radio shack. So that's there's a piece of wood or something somebody lodged in here, so I've got to get that out so the wires will pass. So I'm gonna have to figure something to get down in there and get down inside that. Trying to see if there she goes. Sometimes that brake I think hinders it, but I don't know. She really goes. I mean, it does a really good job. But I think the brake does sometimes keep, because it can only go one way and it takes a minute for the wind to come back around. But it ain't so bad that it ain't going to work. Alright guys, enough of me blabbing on. I'm going to get this this electric wire in. Alright guys, getting ready to wire this up. Now the first thing that the instructions said to do is make sure that you can get your solar panel or windmill as close as you can to the controller. That way, because of the drop. So I think we're pretty good. We're going to run it about 8 foot. We're going to run it from here, from the top down, and then through here, over here, and then I'm going to drill a hole here, and we're going to run in, and right on the inside is our workbench, and I'll run an extra 4 foot of wire there, and then I'm going to probably end up just mounting the controller right here. So the controller will be here, and you can see right there is the windmill. So there shouldn't be that much of a drop on the voltage coming through the wires. So that's something important to remember when you're installing this, if you are a beginner like me. Alright guys, now we're going to get the electric ran on the pole. First things first, I've got to take out the old wiring. This pole I'm using is recycled. It used to be the old Dish Network pole. The dish was mounted to it. So we're just going to repurpose it for this windmill. So I've got to take out the cable. They had a lot of stuff jammed in there. A lot of old cable. Probably use that on down the road. Who knows? Throw it out in the yard for right now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I've already drilled the hole down here. That's where it's going to come out. I'm going to try to get a hold of it, pull it out this way. And whoever invented these step down bits, that was awesome. These things are so cool. They work so well. So I got that drilled out, and all we got to do now is run our wiring through the thing and through there, and then we'll get the pole set back out in the yard. Alright guys, I'm only going to be using red wire today. I didn't want to spend the extra 12 bucks for the black. I think we have enough on this to do all of what we need. And maybe later on I'll change it, put the ground wire too. But for right now, we're going to use just red. Hopefully I got enough wire. It's something I used to have a bunch of, and I'm pretty low now. Now this is going to be the fun part, and that's trying to get this wire down to where I need it. So I'll probably end up, I hope I have enough wire. It's going to be close. Because I've got to have 2 strands. Alright, we're going to run it down, and hopefully, I think I got more wire in here. I do, I got another strand of wire. Get that out here. Hopefully I can just run this down through there and grab a hold of it at the end. That's what I'm hoping. I'm already running into some kind of barrier. I may have to get a stiffer wire. Let me get something, guys. I gotta get something to get this down in there. Alright, guys. I just took a stick and I stapled the wire on there, and hopefully I can shove it down in the hole. So that's what I want to try to do. Alright. Yeah, I got it down in there. So now all I gotta do is get a hold of that. Looks like there's another piece of wire down in there. I think that's what was hindering me. I hope that staple won't be too hard to fight. Well, I can't get a hold of it with my left hand. So there it is. Now it's got to break it off that staple. What's going on? It seems like I'm pulling more wire than I need. Alright, guys, I think I got it. All I gotta do is snip this. And there we go. There's our first wire. So we'll have to take it over and measure it, see what we need to get it over to the shed. Alrighty, guys, I got everything measured going into the shack, and unfortunately I'm going to have to go spend the other $12, get another row of black. I guess we'll get the black for the ground because I'm about 4 foot too short, I think. That's the way it seems like my life always comes up to being, a few inches or a few feet short. So I've got to make a run and get some wire to finish this. Can't turn back now, I guess. Alright, let me go get the wire and we'll get this wired up. Daggone it. Alright, guys, I'm back. I got some more wire. Got the black wire now. Didn't really want to spend the $12 on another row of wire, but gotta do what you gotta do, I reckon. So let's finish the wiring up on this, guys. Why it's so hard getting this package? They made it difficult. The other one wasn't like that. I guess they didn't want nobody stealing it. Urgh. Well, back on. There we go. So, this is 40 foot. That should finish this up. It's not as thick as my red, but it'll work. It'll work. So all I gotta do now, guys, I've got to run this new wire like we did the red. Once I get that finished, I'll be back and we should be ready to wire everything up. Alright, guys, now we gotta solder these wires. Gotta solder the wires. And so, alright, so we gotta solder these on, so get the positive soldered and the negative. It's humid out today, guys. I'm sweating. And it's October. It's been a warm fall. So I need to get these soldered in. Got that one soldered. Let's get the negative. soldered in, just a little extra solder. Just to be safe. Alright. We got our, now we need to get some heat shrink. On there, just like that. Now we need to take our positive on our wire that hooks to the windmill, to the controller, I should say. I need to make that a little bit longer. Yeah, my glass keep fogging up. I'm hot. Let's see, I can't wait till it gets cold. I love cold weather. I can't stand the heat. Ever since I worked at the dairy and worked in the ice cream cooler, that was 20 years ago. It messed my body temperature up like you wouldn't believe. Let's get this soldered in. Get that wicked. Alright, we know that's not going nowhere. Do the same to the ground. There. Of course, it wants to be in where I can't reach it. Get that nice and soldered in. All right. So now we just need to heat shrink it. We'll clip the excess off. We don't need all that like that. Bring the heat shrink up. There's that one. Do the same to the ground. Shrink it. And there we go, guys. We got our wires set. And you know what? I messed up because I didn't put the collar on. Well, we'll have to redo that, guys. I'll be back. Because I forgot to put the piece of plastic over it. Daggone it. Alright, guys, I'm going to do it off camera. I'm going to put it all back together, but you've got to pretty much reassemble the windmill and run all your wires through the pipe. And see, this is where that's going to hook. All I got to do now is solder these back like we just did. And everything should be good to go. I don't know what I was thinking. I got the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse. I'm going to get that resoldered, everything back, and I'll return. Alrighty, guys, we've got it hooked up. All the wires are ran, and all the wires are run over here to the shop. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead and test it with the multimeter. So let's do that real quick. Alright, guys, she's working. yeah, it's did pretty good. So now let's go wire it up in the controller. Alright guys, let's see if this charger or this controller is going to work. Let's see, what do I need? I think yeah, it should be pretty self-explanatory here. The windmill, go right here where it says solar panel. So that's the positive. Positive will go in like that. Turn it down. Ground. Ground. Tighten that down. Now I've got to cut a wire for the battery, guys. So let me do that off camera. I got to cut 2 short wires. Alright, I've got those battery wires hooked in, guys. The battery wires, here's the positive, and the ground. And then I'm going to have to get, I got some of these little clamps that'll clamp on, but right now we'll have to use these alligator clips. Put the ground on. And the positive. And there she came on. And you can see 12.3 volts coming in. Well, no, that's 12.3 on my, I think on my battery. That's the lights. Full project, set voltage. .4 volts. 10.7. Let me see. I think it's working. No, I don't know what the 10.7 because it ain't spinning up there. So I'm going to have to read the instructions a little bit more, guys. I don't know if this thing, I thought it would have the voltage when it was charging, just like our multimeter. And like I said, I'm going to have to order a controller for a windmill, because I guess this battery, I didn't know it was completely charged, and it is 12.3 volts, so it is charged. I wish I had a battery here that wasn't, but all my batteries are pretty much charged up right now. So that kind of defeats the purpose. I got full charged batteries. But I will monitor this, guys, and see how it goes. I got to read more instructions. I didn't read them all. But yeah, there we go. And I'll get a order for one of them windmill controllers. And I'll do a little short video on that, and showing how to hook it up. Alrighty. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope everybody is safe and well. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you right here at Redneck Ways. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. I'm back. Heck, I forgot. This is the whole purpose I made this when the electric went out. And I didn't show y'all how electric works on it. When the electric went out with that last, or not the last hurricane, but the one before Helene, we got our power went off for 12 hours. And I just trying to figure something to charge my phone, because that's what I was having problems with. And that's what I built this for. So this has got the USB on it. So let's see if it's going to charge our phones. That's one of the important things. And then I guess you can hook a light up here. It's got a little light bulb. I don't know how many volts will come off this. Now, I'm going to get me an inverter to hook to either this one, well, the Windmill one, and maybe get, AC voltage. So let's see if this works. Let's hook her USB. Alright, USB's in there. Let's see if it'll charge the phone. Yep. There you go. So it is charging. Whoops. It should pop on, say how much? 5%. So it will charge your phones. So that is a big plus. Because I was having, I had candles and I had everything like that, and lanterns, my lamps, and fuel. But I was just having problems getting my phone charged. I had a little bank, one of those little charger banks, that it just took forever to charge from the car. So that's what gave me this whole idea. And you can see it's blinking there. So nice little project, guys. Fun little project, and very easy. Not very, it's not super hard to do. Anybody can do it. Just it is a little time, because I didn't think it would take that long. One thing, I had to do everything from scratch. That always takes a little bit longer. So, alright, guys. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye, guys.